Welcome to the May Optimal You. Tonight I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about breakfast and lunch. We have so many details before we get started. Along the way, please make sure that you go and type in that you're here or type in a question. I know I'll be asking if there's any questions along the way, and if you have any questions, let us know. I'll be looking for messages to come in and to just make a difference for each and every one of you. Just bear with me for one moment here as we get our tools together. And so we'll be answering text messages. Okay, so someone tonight is going to randomly win a huge gift basket from Swanson Health Products. We've teamed up with Swanson Health Products. They've been a very great organization for us to work with. And you're going to want to make sure you email us at customercare@druglessdoctor.com along the way, because if you don't win, we're going to send everybody a hormone, Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormone PDF, and or a Dr. Bob's Men's Health, the Basics. But let's get started in regard to breakfast and lunch and planning. So when I was going through and I was doing some information, I was digging up some past info. We spoke last month about sleeping, and probably a very important key when it comes to eating breakfast. You want to wake up hungry. Well, to wake up hungry, you really need to have had a good night's sleep, because sleep promotes growth hormone. So if you're not waking up hungry in the morning, you probably are not getting enough sleep. So I'm going to encourage you to go to our Drugless Doctor YouTube channel and watch last month Optimal You on sleeping. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to learn information. So a couple things that I want you to do. Okay, I just want you to just kind of listen, and because you can go back and you could watch this again. When you're thinking about breakfast, probably if there's anything else that I could give to you tonight is you want to make sure that you're eating foods that don't have what we call a high glycemic index. So when the program is over tonight, what I want you to do is I want you to go to your favorite search engine and type in glycemic foods. And I did that for you for a couple reasons, and I have a couple of them here right in front of me right now. Glycemic index is the ability of food to go into cells. The higher the glycemic index, the faster foodstuffs are going to go into the cells in your body. That's one of the reasons a couple of years ago we coined the SWAT bag, start with a protein. I don't want you to start with a pastry, because your blood sugar is going to go up and then your blood sugar is going to go down, and you're going to have highs and lows all day long. So, glycemic index. Let me give you an example. I would start your day off with eggs. Eggs are not the evil one. If you were to go to our YouTube channel, I was just in front of some egg beaters at one of our local grocery stores. I was shaking my head because the chemicals in egg beaters are not good, but eggs are the perfect food. I would like you to focus on organic eggs, because you know that those poor old chickens haven't been given chemicals. So the real big issue up to this point is eating eggs that are not organic, and I'm going to tell you, I would not eat any eggs that are not organic. Okay, so eggs themselves, when it comes to a glycemic index, are probably mid-range. They're not on this particular chart, but I'll give you an example. You don't want to have for breakfast necessarily watermelon. Now, I know people eat fruit for breakfast. Watermelon has a glycemic index of 72. You don't have a little. Okay, please make sure that you send some questions to us, and I'm going to answer them along the way, because they'll text them to me. So we're going to make sure we satisfy everything. Okay, now let's get back to this glycemic index, because it's really important. Probably out of all the stuff that I'm going to talk to you tonight, if you just learn this, you have success. And I'm going to burst a couple bubbles tonight also. So you don't want to eat fruit for breakfast, because what's going to happen, and I just read an article about fruit, fructose or fructose will cause an enlarged liver. And we've been seeing an epidemic of fatty livers in our practice. I cannot get over 1 or 2 new practice members every week. People that are coming in have fatty livers. It's from fruit. Fruit Fructose, high fructose corn syrup. So avoid sweet grains for breakfast. That means when the program is over, I want you to go and I want you to look in your pantry, wherever you hold your breakfast cereals, and I want you to look at ingredients. And does it have sugar in it? Does it have high fructose corn syrup? If you're going to eat a cereal, I would prefer a rice cereal. They have some hemp cereals right now. They have some flax cereals. I eat cereal infrequently, dry, with shredded coconut and a few walnuts. It still probably has a higher glycemic index, obviously, than an egg or eggs, but you really want to focus on proteins for breakfast. That's really significant. You do not want to have bread with jelly on it. And I'm going to tell you right now, pancakes are just not a part of it, or waffles with syrup on it, because it's going to cause your blood sugar to go sky high. So here's something else that's going to be kind of a shocker to some of you. I really don't promote oatmeal. I've done programs on gluten, and wheat, rye, oat, and barley have gluten in it. And I know some of you are eating oatmeal for breakfast because you want to lower your cholesterol. Well, if you follow everything that we've been talking about over the years, you can lower your cholesterol 40% by eating 1/2 of a red apple. And I eat my red apple throughout the day. I don't have it for breakfast. I usually eat on an empty stomach, mid-morning, mid-afternoon. 1/3 cup of beet fiber and 1 medium carrot. Now, I don't want you to eat those little baby carrots anymore. I want you to eat a medium carrot. Those baby carrots have probably been soaked in some things. You have your beet fiber on your salad, okay? So 1/2 red apple, 1/3 cup of beet fiber, and a medium carrot will replace oatmeal. So what you could do for me right now is you could do what I fondly call the squeeze the wrist test. See, when you look at your wrist, there should be no fluid in there. There's no fluid in it, skin. If you squeeze your wrist right now and you feel some gushy squishies, that's because your body's holding on to water. And I had a friend of mine years and years and years ago, a wonderful gentleman, but he had oatmeal every day and he was so inflamed. Okay, so you want to eat mid-glycemic foods, do a little bit of a search engine on that. I generally, for breakfast, I always have at least 1 hard-boiled egg a day. 70 calories, that's all that it is. But it's going to keep my blood sugar staying steady. If you're going to have eggs for breakfast, you don't want to have a bagel. Bagels are just not a part of your life. You get the egg, you scramble it, and you saute it with some vegetables, okay? And there's a couple reasons why. You want your blood sugar to stay the same, but you're also getting vegetables in your body. The next thought is, I know so many of you love to juice, and you have smoothies, and you put your favorite fruits in it. And everybody always talking about, what about blueberries and bananas? Can I just tell you something? We're going to be coming into the month of June right now. If you're going to start eating strawberries, you're going to have neck pain. In July, it's cherries, you're going to have neck pain. And in August, it's peaches, you're going to have neck pain. So I would avoid those fruits. I would not have them for breakfast at all. I don't really want you to do smoothies. Now, if you want to do a smoothie, go off them for a month, and you'll pleasantly surprise that your pain in your body will go away. So you don't want to be doing smoothies, okay? If you're going to do a smoothie, use coconut milk and never more than 8 ounces. If you're going to juice, now I've promoted juicing in the past, and in several of our books we talk about juicing, not more than 8 ounces. Because I've had individuals that have been doing a lot of juicing first thing in the morning, and their blood sugar goes up and down, but at 3 o'clock in the morning, these people are waking up, and they're waking up and they can't fall back to sleep. So stop the excessive juicing. 8 ounces max. What should you use for a juice? You could use a beet fiber, carrot, celery, cucumber, throw some parsley in there, just a pinch of ginger, because ginger is very potent, but it's really good for digestion, okay? 1/2 an apple, beet fiber, celery, cucumber, not more than 8 ounces. But I want to continue on. If you do have any questions, you can send them to us where it's at, that you can do it on the screen. They'll be texted to me. You got to make sure you contact us, because see, there's going to be somebody's going to win a huge box from us from Swanson Health Products, and everybody else is going to get the consolation prize, which is an excellent prize. They're going to get Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones or Dr. Bob's Men's Health, the Basics. But I want to talk about something called the circadian rhythm. I'm going to spell this for you, okay? It's C-I-R-C-A-D-I-A-N. The circadian rhythm is how cortisol goes up and down in your body. What I'd like you to do is do a search on it, because see, first thing in the morning, your cortisol level is the highest. Now, it starts to go down around noon. But what happens to so many people is they eat, now listen, I'm going to word this, they eat carbs, and then what happens with the carbs is that their insulin goes up, and then when their insulin goes up, what happens to them afterwards is they have to have cortisol release. Now I'm going to give you some physiology right now. If your cortisol is constantly high, you're going to have your muscles get cannibalized. Now, I'm going to be 60 years old, and I work really hard on my muscles not being cannibalized. But some of you, if you look in the mirror in your 30s and 40s, you notice the tissue starting to melt away. It's because your body has been cannibalized by cortisol. Now, you may have never heard this before, but if you eat sweet items and you don't shut that insulin off, your body will secrete cortisol. So one of the reasons I suggest people have a rice cake with almond butter on it and coconut oil, the almond butter and the coconut oil stop the cortisol release. That's really important for all of you because you don't want to be cannibalizing muscle. So look at the circadian release of cortisol. I'll spell it again. C-I-R-C-A-D-I-A-N. Just do a research on it. You know, we have so much to talk about. We don't want you to miss all of the opportunities. So on the go, we just made them right now. Debbie, my wife, we have a Krups, K-R-U-P-S egg maker, and we can make 7 literally perfect steamed hard-boiled eggs at one time. And I'm going to crack those and peel one. When I take the eggs to the office, I always make sure that I have them peeled, and I just pop them out of a small container. Let's talk about the swap bag, okay, because I'm going to be making the swap bag later on too. The swap bag has 1 stalk of celery, 1 medium carrot, 2 radishes, 6 tomatoes, little small ones, a wedge of red, yellow, or orange bell pepper, a half a red apple. And the reason I always promote a red apple, when I was doing my studies for my Doctor of Natural Health degree, I read a great book. It's called The Answer to Cancer by Dr. Sharma. The Answer to Cancer by Dr. Sharma. And in the book, he suggested don't be eating green apples because they stagnate digestion. It means you're going to have digestive distress. I eat a half a red apple every day. So I'll eat that through the day, mindless eating. Okay, that's significant because, see, mindless eating is not a pastry. It's not something that's going to throw your blood sugar off, okay? Now, some of you have heard me speak about nightshades before. Tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, and green pepper. Well, tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplant and green pepper are nightshades. They're not bad foods. But for some of you that have liver distress, they can cause pain. But I have at least 6 or 7 small tomatoes every day. Now, eggs with veggies are really significant. Eggs with veggies. Don't have bread with them, and you could use some butter. Butter is good. Organic salted butter is good. And you could use some rice oil. I just got a question that we'll talk about, okay? What kind of dressing do I use? I want you to know that I use olive oil and balsamic vinegar, primarily. But I will get some beet dressing from the mustard seed, but I really have backed off on that the last 2 years because I was using too much dressing. And it has a lot of calories. So I might put a dab of that on there. But somebody asked, what is cortisol? Cortisol, how many eggs can you eat in a day? You can eat at least 1 egg every day. I mean, you're going to raise your cholesterol with a donut a lot quicker than you're going to raise your cholesterol with an egg. And actually, you want to have a cholesterol level of over 200, at least 200. If it's 160 or less, it's not good. Cortisol is released by your adrenal glands to shut off insulin. Cortisol is when you hear the word fire, 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 and you got to run really quick. Well, cortisol and epinephrine are released so you can hightail it out of there. But what happens to a lot of individuals is if you have too much cortisol, it cannibalizes muscle. Let me give you some more tips for breakfast, okay? Almond butter on an apple. Almond butter is excellent. Now, I have eaten nuts in the past. I still eat some walnuts during the day, not very often, not every day, but I have really watched my nut consumption because I was eating too many nuts. I should have listened to my wife a long time ago. I would avoid, this is just a side note, any beverages that have sugar added to them. Now you say, what do you mean, Dr. Bob? If you go to your favorite coffee place and they're going to be putting pumps of flavors and sweeteners, that's going to throw your blood sugar off, and there are a lot of calories. No sugar cereals. Actually, I read an article one time about food combining, and breakfast cereals are probably one of the worst food combining foods because of dairy and the cereal itself. So you might want to try some coconut milk. If I'm going to have cereal, I always have it dry with shredded coconut, organic shredded coconut. You could throw a few organic raisins on it if you so choose, and walnuts, but I do not add any fluid. Always read labels. No matter what you buy, you always read labels. Now, I would not eat any fruit for breakfast, which I already talked about. This is going to be a shocker. Are you ready? Citrus, oranges will cause fibromyalgia and neck pain. I don't ever talk about eating oranges. I don't talk about eating grapefruits. It will cause pain. And I would never, ever, ever drink concentrated fruit juice, because when they concentrate, what happens is that they have to heat it up, and it's going to cause pain. And if you don't believe me and you do citrus every day, you just stop doing it for a month. You're going to send me a thank you note. Don't eat any dried fruit. It'll cause pain. I'd rather have you eat organic turkey patties. A lot of places are selling these patties now that you could not saute, but you could fry in your stovetop and just have a turkey patty with maybe an egg, saute some vegetables, but you have to prepare all of this in advance. I love sauteing spinach. And I'll tell you what, you throw a spinach with some onions and mushrooms and you throw an egg in it, that's going to last you several hours. That is like the perfect breakfast, okay? I already mentioned I would not do waffles, I would not eat a donut, and guess what? I believe next week, it's June 6th or something, it's National Donut Day. We're going to have to do some information about that. I would never eat a donut. Donuts I call torpedoes of death. The whole key with breakfast is mid-glycemic, no grains, non-fruit, non-dairy. The typical American breakfast is all of that I just mentioned to you, okay? So let me talk to you a little bit about lunchtime now. So we really did do the breakfast. So remember, you want to wake up hungry. If you're not waking up hungry, you're not sleeping good. If you're not sleeping good, you got to go back and you listen to my last month about sleep. Let's talk about lunch. So what do I have for lunch? Well, I want you to know mid-morning I have a hard-boiled egg, or I'll have a rice cake with almond butter on it, or I'll have part of my swap bag. So it's lunchtime. And what I have, and you've seen me put pictures on this on Facebook, my wife and I will make 8 salads on a Sunday. So I have a salad. Let me talk to you what's in my salad, okay? Romaine lettuce, organic spinach. You could put kale in. I don't usually put kale in my salad, though. I'll put sliced mushrooms. No radishes. I put my radishes in the swap bag. 4 tomatoes. Beet fiber. Very important, beet fiber. Avocado. Avocados will help you. They'll help you with your blood sugar. Sunflower seeds. Sesame seeds. We always have in there. Shredded cabbage. I have recently gone from red cabbage to white cabbage. Have you seen some of my pictures? I just, for some reason, don't know why I didn't do white cabbage forever. Red cabbage, I don't know why, but I'm just doing white cabbage right now. So it's been just really great. And I mentioned the red, yellow, orange bell pepper. I know my wife puts shredded carrots on her salad also. And I have a salad. And then I want you to know that every weekend I make 6 or 8 organic chicken thighs. But then I always put beet fiber on top of the salad. And we always have some kind of protein. We do a lot of chicken thighs. And I just find that chicken thighs being a fat is easier to digest than chicken breast. Now, we have about 10 minutes or so, and I want you to know a lot of people start asking questions at the end. If you have a question, you make sure that you send us the question. Somehow, if you don't have a question, just say that you're here. Because, see, someone's going to win a huge prize, a huge basket from Swanson Health Products. And they've been really good to us. We love Swanson. They've just been really smart along the way. You can also send us an email if you don't win the grand prize, because it's going to be chosen randomly. You send an email to customercare@druglessdoctor.com. That's customercare@druglessdoctor.com, and we'll send you a complimentary PDF of Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones, or Dr. Bob's Men's Health, the Basics. Now, I went online a little bit and was just checking some things around. A lot of places do talk about having yogurt for breakfast. I wanted to go back to that. Let's get on with the lunch thing. Some big news. Recently, now listen to this. You're going to love this. It's called the halo effect. They did studies of individuals that came out of McDonald's, and they said, how many calories did you just have? When they came out of McDonald's, they usually guessed about 19% less than what they actually did. So if you came out of McDonald's, you said I had 450. In essence, I had 5 1/4. Well, Subway, when people left Subway, they estimated 29% less calories than what they really did. So that's like a third. So let's say they said they had 300 calories. In essence, they had like 450 calories. Well, I was just watching television the other day, and Subway said now they have no trans fat, no high fructose corn syrup, and then the new buzz, and I talked about this before, is azodicarbonamide. Azodicarbonamide. That was a chemical that Subway was putting in some of their products. Now, I don't promote Subway, and I'm going to tell you why. Several years ago, I went to Subway when my son, Dr. Anthony, Dr. Kaysen, moved back to the community. So I bought lunch for everybody, and I had a spinach salad. I want you to know I was sick for 3 days. Now, I don't know what they spray on their food. I just don't trust them. If you want to go to Subway, if you go to these fast food restaurants or franchise restaurants, you're sick afterwards. It could be the sprays that they're putting on there, so just be aware of it. So I'm going to tell you a story. Several years ago, I was in California. I was taping some TV. And my wife and I usually carry enough food to last about 2 or 3 days. And we were out in the middle of the desert. And the TV taping was done. And the only place to go to eat was a Chinese restaurant. So there was a Subway there and some other franchise restaurants. And I've been watching my diet and the weight and all that. So I went to this cafeteria style. And this is a story for somebody right now, because it's going to be the weekend soon. And I know what you people like to do. So I went up to the window and I was looking. So I got broccoli and beef. And then they had 2 kinds of rice. They had steamed rice and they had fried rice. Well, I love chicken fried rice. Now, this is before I actually realized something. In California, they have to write down the number of calories on their menu. So when I was sitting down at the table, I chose the fried rice. I was sitting down and I saw how many calories was in the broccoli and beef. I thought, oh, that's pretty good. I could see how many calories was in the steamed rice. It was like 150. Well, I looked to see how many calories was in the fried rice, and it was like 750 calories in a cup. So I just want you to become very calorie conscious. And some of you are going to go out to eat lunch tomorrow, and there's steamed rice or there's fried rice. And they do have steamed brown rice. I just want you to be aware of that, okay? So somebody asked earlier about what I use for salad dressing, and I try to use balsamic vinegar, or I will use just see what kind of questions we might have from any of you right now. So somebody wants to know what other proteins besides eggs. I mentioned turkey patties, chicken patties, drumsticks. You could have any kind of animal protein you want. You can have beans and legumes. I just put put a picture the other day with northern beans. You don't want to eat dry beans. You want to eat wet beans. I have a fatty liver and 1 gallstone. Let me tell you, fatty livers, you contact customer care at druglessdoctor.com. We'll send you the protocol to get rid of fatty livers. They are an epidemic today. Fatty livers are very, very serious. But I have to continue on. Okay. Mixed green salad, simple protein, salad dressings, limit. Okay, now, I want you to avoid milkshakes. Because milkshakes, especially from some of these fast food places, have high fructose corn syrup in it. And if you get done eating a lunch somewhere, and I haven't had this happen to me since about 30 years ago, but we used to get done eating lunch at Burger King, and I'd get done eating a Whopper with cheese and extra fries and all the rest of that stuff, and I was hungry. Now listen, write this down. There's something called leptin. L-E-P, P as in Paul, T-I-N. So it's Louis, Echo, Paul, Tom, Indigo, nice. Leptin tells you you are full. Well, high fructose corn syrup takes it out of your body. It puts a hormone in your body called ghrelin. Ghrelin tells you you are hungry. So you don't want to be doing high fructose corn syrups and avoid these franchise restaurants. So I would not eat dessert after a meal because it will throw your blood sugar off. I would not ever eat fruit after a meal. Fruit after a meal, especially lunch or breakfast, will throw your body off. If you're going to go out to have lunch at an Italian restaurant, I'm not sure what you should get. I'd get a Caesar salad with chicken on it. But if you're going to get a kind of Alfredo sauce or a pasta with a heavy cream sauce on it, I'm not sure what that is.
O.T. Carmen won the...
Oh. O.T. Carmen won. O.T. Carmen won the grand prize. All right. We still have about 2...
Do you eat anything besides salads for lunch?
Do I eat anything besides salad for lunch? Sauteed vegetables. But 85% of the time I am going to eat a mixed green salad with some kind of protein on it. Or stir-fried vegetables. Now if you're going to go to an Italian restaurant, avoid those pastas, especially fettuccine alfredo. Fettuccine alfredo is like 750 calories in a cup. Now, if you didn't win, you're going to want to send us an email to customer care at druglessdoctor.com with your name, or at least here on it, so we can comp and send you a courtesy Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones, or Dr. Bob's Men's Health, the Basic. We have about 1.5 minutes left, so let's talk about some other items here. I will grill asparagus on the grill with olive oil. I like to grill vegetables. Will get red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, and I'll put them on the grill. You turn them slowly. It's okay if they get a little dark because you peel that outer portion off. I eat food a variety of different ways. I don't eat everything raw. I eat some items steamed, some stir-fried, some sauteed. I watch how I do food combining. I would eat Thai brown rice noodles. I don't eat a lot of pasta. Just had some pasta the other night. It was brown rice pasta. We maybe add some olive oil on it. So first, we appreciate all of you watching us. It's been a lot of fun. We're making a big impact on individual lives. Please go back and listen to this. Pass this on to someone, because I know a lot of people got a lot of misinformation and they don't know exactly what to eat all the time. Enjoy the rest of your summer. I know we're going to have an excellent Optimal You in the month of June, the last Wednesday of the month. Please pass it on. Tell your friends and families. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you email us. And once again, thank you to Swanson Food Products. They've been really a blessing to us. So everybody, you have a pleasant evening. Enjoy the rest of your summertime. Goodbye, everybody.